Hey, what is up guys? Today I have for you one of the coolest and the flashiest builds for Wulong. Since the start of the game, we have hardly had any good armor sets that let us do a good magic or a spell build. The Black Emperor was the closest we got as it gave us infinite spirit, but that was about it. Now this DLC gave us a new grey set which is an absolute gem. We can have so much fun using all the spells in the game, and it literally makes all of them strong. Not just one or two. Every single spell from every virtue can be made super powerful. Just look at how powerful all the spells can get. You can instantly melt any boss. Even if bosses are immune to a certain virtue, you can still use just about anything else and will easily get the kill. It's truly amazing. But what's more amazing is winter is right around the corner, and what better time is there than to jump into discovering whole new worlds with amazing graphics, brutal boss battles, deep and engaging gameplay with hundreds of champions to conquer, including the new mythical champions that are going to be an absolute beast. Just look at my guy Gilgrid. This guy fights with swords and even guns all together, and he can even summon minions to do insane attacks. Raid also has a massive present for you to unwrap. The Cursed City is one of Raid's biggest features since the Doom Tower, with hundreds of stages to complete, including stages where you'll need to take down 2 of the raid's bosses at the same time. This will completely push your builds and your champions to their limits. And throughout December is going to be even more action packed. Raid is running an exclusive promotion where players can embark on a special holiday adventure. During this time, you will get a chance to earn both amazing in-game items and even real life goodies, ranging from epic and even legendary champions to even Amazon gift cards. So all you need to do is download Raid Shadow Legends and head on over to raidchristmas.com from December 15 all the way to January 10th. If you haven't started playing yet, then what are you waiting for? Click my link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses available only via my link. Get 2 epic champions, not only 1 but 2. Lightswarm and Juliana are a set of very strong epic champions from the Sacred Order. Once you're in the game and crushing your enemies, come find me under the name GamerJZ and join my clan, the Gods of Raid, and we'll be legends together. So just hit my link in the description and I'll see you all on the battlefield. So now let's get right into the build. Going over the armor sets, we have 2 armor sets that we should try and get. Firstly, we need to try and get at least 5 pieces with set bonus, Queen Mother of the West Grey set. Then we go for 2 pieces of the Instigator of Evil set, and one of your pieces should be the set bonus mitigation. If you can't get all of them, getting at least 6 pieces of the Queen Mother's Grey set will work just fine. The only real reason why we go for 2 pieces of the Instigator of Evil set is because we can get some extra elemental damage. So it's completely fine if you can't get those 2 pieces added on. Now, what makes the main Grey set so unique and extremely good for spell builds is the main ability Queen of Kunlun's Edict. This is so freaking cool. So you need at least 72 in each virtue for the set bonus to take effect. Now this does mean that you will have to be over level 350 in order to use the set. If you are anywhere under that level, then I'm sorry, you won't be able to use the set's main ability at all. So make sure to quickly level up if you are wanting to use it. What this effect does is that every 5 seconds or so, you will cycle through every virtue: wood, fire, earth, metal and water. While those certain virtues are active, you will deal increased damage from those given virtues and have reduced cost to cast those spells as well. Not only that, but it also negates some of the enemy's resistance to that virtue as well. Here's a quick look at how it works. You can tell which virtue that you're currently on just by the color of the icon. If it's red, all my fire spells will be super strong and they will be cheap to use, and all enemies will get their fire resistance reduced. As soon as it switches, it goes into the next one. Then my earth spells are cheaper and stronger, then the metal, then ice and so on. This way you can have a lot of fun casting every single spell in the game, and not one of them will feel weak. All of them will get completely beefed up. The increased damage and the reduced costs make it super easy to spam a lot of spells consistently. The only downtime you'll get when casting the spells is if you completely run out of spirit. Other than that, you should be casting spells all the time. So firstly, let's have a look at the stratagems, and they are pretty important. Firstly, we have the Focused Fever. This one is pretty simple, as gaining those full bars of spirit is useful to start any of your fights. Then you have Devoted Wizardry. This will prevent us from using our martial arts, but in return you cannot be staggered while you cast spells. This build does revolve around taking a lot of hits, and you don't want to be constantly knocked out of our spells animation, otherwise we won't be getting much done at all. And as for our weapons, going for a sword or cestus's will be preferred, as the more sword bars you have, the better it will be. Then as long as you have correct graces on them, it really doesn't matter which ones you go for. And the same applies to your ranged weapons as well. And now for your armor, for this build I do recommend that you try and get at least 7-star gear. Best would be 8-star like I have all my pieces here, but that can be very difficult. 7-star would be my best recommendation for this build. Try and get on heavy armor if you can. And as for the effects, for your armor and your weapons, you should really want to focus on Wizardry spell damage and ice attack power in your premium slots. In general, for my testing, the hardest hitting spells go as this: ice, followed by wood, which is your lightning, then your fire spells, and finally stone and toxin, which are pretty equal. If you have 8-star, you can easily spread out all your attack powers for each virtue and make all of them strong. But if you don't have that, and even if you focus on 1 or 2, it should still be fine. Across all my armor pieces, I have Wizardry spell damage on all of them, then a combination of all the attack powers for each virtue. Try and get that same thing for accessories as well. As much attack power as you can and Wizardry spell damage as well. Now looking at our main spells, the one spell that you really need to have on is Absorb Vitality. The Grey set does offer HP restoration on Wizardry spells, but it's not enough on its own, so we need to get that extra from the Absorb Vitality to keep us alive. I will show you the best spells from each of them that you could use for this build. For your lightning, literally all your spells from your Thunderstroke Blade all the way to the lightning formulation are extremely strong. For your fire, the one that I found that was truly powerful was the Purgatorial Purge. It can be harder to connect on smaller enemies, but the damage is extremely high. I even hit 14k damage at one point, so it's very good. Otherwise, Scorch Spinner is the best option as it will hardly ever miss. For the Earth, Imposing Stab, Fiend Vanquisher and Invoking Earth Spike are mostly all I used, as the rest took way too long to charge up and didn't find much use of them during those 5 seconds. For Metal, Ravaging Axe and Virulent Rush are the best. Those are the only good ones because they can do good damage while also inflicting toxin. That's the only downfall of Metallic Execution, and the other ones is that they don't inflict toxin at all. Also, I always run with Molten Calamity. Since we can inflict multiple status effects, if we can get a hit from Molten when the Metal Virtue comes on, you can hit for some serious damage. And then finally for the Ice, the Water God's Blink is just way too good. You can spam it so fast and it will kill enemies way too quickly. It's the most overpowering skill of the whole lot. Sometimes I tend not to even use it just for how stupidly strong it is. Otherwise, the new Water God's Onslaught is also good, but it's on the slow side. That's basically it, and as for virtue points, I basically spend all my points evenly across all the 5 virtues, just to make all of them strong. And that is it for the build, guys. I truly love this new Grey set. It's the most fun I've had making a spell build in a long time for this game. It may not be the strongest or the fastest way to kill bosses, but it surely is the flashiest. You can still have some really high damage numbers with this build. Like when fighting an enemy who's very weak to ice, you can easily just wait for your ice virtue to come on and then swish swish swish, they will instantly die. That blink spell is so freaking broken, I tell you. Or when Zhang Lao comes on, he does all these lightning attacks, but damn is he weak to lightning. I could just punch him a few times through my lightning formulation and he takes so much damage. Some enemies are still completely immune to some of the virtues, so if a boss is immune to say ice or fire or whatever it is, when you cycle into that virtue, that's the time you use to land a few attacks with your weapon to gain your spirit back. Other than that, I do recommend you do this at the base difficulty or even +1 or +2 at the 1000 mile journey. You can go on +3, but the initial levels can be tough as you do depend on tanking attacks to land your spells, and you can easily get one shot during those opening stages. I hope you all enjoyed the build and are gonna find using spells a lot more fun. I truly had a blast with this build. What did you guys think of this new Grey set? Be sure to check out Raid Shadow Legends by scanning my QR code and by checking the link in the description and the pinned comment to get your hands on 2 epic heroes. I will catch you all next time.